Days of Our Lives blunder Philip's surprising new romance, Sora's teen and danger. Days of Our Lives spoilers Friday, April 11th. Vivian's stunning demand, Chanel's worst fear, Sammy's story for Johnny. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. After watching these videos, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Days of Our Lives suckers, we've got some further scoop from our leaker. Instigative stuff about Philip Kiriakis getting a new romantic interest as well as a sprat being progressed up to a teen, two ladies in pitfall, and tons more to talk about. Days of Our Lives blunder inside source info. So this leak about Philip Kiriakis, Xander Cook, Gabby Hernandez, and others is a little different from the leaks I generally get from my source, although it came from my same inside source. I've been told this is all factual spoilers for what's to come, and not just a leak that presumably will manifest. I've been told these are factual establishment spoilers. Still, I'm not going to call them sanctioned spoilers, because I only use that for the effects that come straight from NBC Peacock. So first out, if you see any social media from behind the scenes of actors that are presently shooting Days, just so you know, they are taping February occurrences at the moment. So that gives you a good idea of who's still around, who's still rephotographing for 2026. It's crazy, they are 9 months ahead on their firing schedule. Days of Our Lives spoilers Xander and Philip take control at DI Mirror Enterprises. Alright, now let's dig into the juicy stuff. This week on Days of Our Lives, Xander Cook smells blood in the water. Because EJ DI Mirror is shot and in a coma and Kristen DI Mirror is a suspect in her family's firing. Plus they brought Wendy Shin to City and she's with the DI Mirrors. Philip Kiriakis brought Wendy and Xander the big news that Kristen is down at the police station. And may be arrested for EJ's firing. That's ideal for the guys. Because Kristen being out of the way means she's CA and to use her votes on this preemption. Wendy Shin is going to get to bounce her deputy and EJ's, which gives him the captain's share. Days of Our Lives Xander and Philip go to Gabby. So we're going to see Xander and Philip over at DI Mirror Enterprises bringing the scary news to Gabby Hernandez that these guys are her new heads. That could get contentious presto. Because Xander and Gabby are NT exactly musketeers. Still, Philip and Gabby have been in the history. So that's the setup for this. So my leaker tells me in forthcoming stories that Gabby is actually going to be conspiring with and working cooperatively with Xander and Philip. And that makes sense. Because Gabby wants her line Gabby chic to do well no matter who's subscribing the hires at Tamara Enterprises. She's no addict of Kristen anyway. And she knows which side of the chuck is buttered right. This starts soon, and while Xander and Gabby will reportedly work near together, it's not going to be anything further than a professional relationship between them, completely platonic. Xander and Sarah's rocky relationship Philip's Forgery revealed. That's important to note. Because Xander and Sarah Horton are about to hit a really rough patch. Formally, Xander finds out about Philip's phony and the fraud and that Sarah helped hide it. She and Xander are going to break up temporarily. So in a previous leak I was told that Philip leaves Salem in May sweeps when he's outed. But he only stays gone a couple of months. This coming spoiler seems to come from the period after Xander finds out and Philip is reportedly back in the fall to try and make amends with his family Xander, who he wants a real relationship with. So it seems the Kiriakis' hand stays on the wheel at DI Mirror for a while. Because latterly in the storyline coming this fall Gabby is working nearly with Philip, and that sounds like Xander has gone and rehired him at Titan when he comes back around September is what I've heard. Days of Our Lives, will Philip and Gabby rekindle their romance? So this new leak says that Philip and Gabby may be further than platonic workers. My source said Sherry Jimenez has been rephotographing nearly daily with John Paul Levasseur in recent spoilers for April. NBC spoilers also say that Jack Jr. Devereaux tries to win back Gabby, which is an intriguing spoiler. Because at the moment they are still together. So the spoilers principally spoiled that JJ and Gabby are going to break up, and I'm sure it's about the EJ firing. Gabby's going to be a top suspect. Formally, she's having flashbacks to the night he was shot where she was standing outside the manscaping inn at EJ having a drink. But Gabby is just one of several numerous suspects. But if JJ focuses on her, or if he actually apprehends her, that's going to be a love killer for Gabby and JJ for sure. Days of Our Lives, a teenager returns to Salem with Soras. Alright, now let's talk about the sprat who's supposed to get a Saurus and come back as a teen. If you do know the expression Saurus, it's cleaner pieces rapid fire aging pattern, and it's when they progress up a sprat suddenly and significantly for plot reasons, generally jumping from 5 or 10 to like 18 to 25. So I've heard whispers about this ahead. But now it seems like it's a done deal. We've been told that Ariana Horton, son of Gabby and Will Horton, is going to debut as a teenager in the coming couple of months that may throw her in the blend with Holly Jonah's Doug 3 tape Black. And of course we'll see if Sophia Choi sticks around after she pops out the baby after Hop. Another casting note is that Matthew Ashford is presently rephotographing as Jack Devereaux and he's doing scenes with Julie Williams. No word however on if Jennifer Horton is in city with her husband Jack or not, so nothing on Missy Reeves. Xander's wrathfulness issues and Sarah's perilous situation. Now back to some Xander-related plot word and scripts that they are rephotographing right now. For February we've got Maggie Horton Kiriakis upset at Xander over commodity. It turns out they're still dealing with fallout from Sarah conspiring with Philip and Kate Roberts and lying to him for the stuff they are shooting now, which is all the way into February. So Xander is supposedly doing some soul-searching and he realizes that his personality excrescences are part of why Sarah felt like she demanded to lie to him, and the corollary of that and Maggie being upset with him has Xander going to comforting with Dr. Melina Evans and he's getting help for wrathfulness operation. Also some of Xander's wrathfulness issues are down to Sarah being in peril. She and Kristen wind up trapped together in a precarious situation, and in the fallout of that drama, Xander's supposedly unpredictable and floundering because he wants to take out the person responsible. So it surely sounds like working with Melina is a good idea. Days of Our Lives Philip and Gabby? I'm interested to see Philip and Gabby as a possible couple. If you do NT flashback, they dated several times ago. But they were no way intimate. That was back in 2021 when Philip was chasing Chloe Lane. That's when he was like deranged and fully hung up, and Gabby wanted to make Jake Diamera jealous. So they compactly dated. But also Philip faked his death and framed Brady Black. He did this by leaving his prosthetic leg out. And he was so furious over Chloe that Brady ended up going to jail for a while. And also of course Kate helped Philip leave city and apparently now has got his head on straight. We'll see. I do suppose Gabby and Philip could be a good match. Because they both like to scheme. And they are devious to the core, and that's all the leaks I have for you now. Days of Our Lives spoilers. Friday, April 11th. Vivian's stunning demand. Chanel's worst fear. Sammy's story for Johnny. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Friday, April 11th, reveal that Vivian Alamain will make a stunning demand while Chanel Dupree Diamera wrestles with her worst fear. Plus, Sami Brady will also partake her side of the story with Johnny Diamera. So that's what Days suckers can look forward to. First, let's talk about Rex Brady, who just set up a gun in Kate Roberts Brady's hole. Since Rex knows Kate's been furious with EJ Diamera, he'll solicitude that his mama might have been behind the firing. While Rex opens up to Roman Brady about that grave concern, Sami will entrust in Johnny about her complicated history with EJ. This will be Sami's occasion to partake her interpretation of events when it comes to Johnny's generality and how she was suitable to get once EJ's horrible conduct. EJ forced Sami to sleep with him in exchange for saving Lucas Horton's life, so Sami obviously won't defend that. Still, Sami will praise the changes she saw in EJ, who was regretful in the end. Despite that violation and EJ's numerous excrescences, part of Sami has always loved EJ and maybe always will. Sami will do her stylish to make Johnny understand her perspective on Friday's Days of Our Lives occasion and hope is willing to forgive his father ultimately. Other Days spoilers say Chanel will have a lot on her mind when it comes to Johnny and what he's able of. Paulina Price will smell that Chanel is troubled, so she'll encourage her son to unmask what's bothering her. Will Chanel admit she's upset that Johnny might have targeted EJ? Johnny was clearly angry enough to go after his father, so Chanel may sweat Johnny pulled the detector and that he could eventually get caught. Next, Days spoilers say Sarah Horton Kiriakis will deal with further guilt. This whole forged letter cover-up has been hard on Sarah, and effects are only going to get harder from then. At the Kiriakis manse, Vivian just boogered in and caught Philip Kiriakis off guard along with Kate. Now that Vivian has ever scored her freedom from Statesville, she'll contend she's come to collect what she's owed. Vivian was responsible for the letter phony, so she'll anticipate to reap the prices, especially now that Philip and Xander Kiriakis have pulled off the Diamera preemption at Titan. Since Vivian will want some plutocrat and power of her own, she'll make some prognostications about sinking Philip and this entire scheme if he doesn't cooperate. Vivian will be further than willing to take Kate down too by giving Roman updates on her cover-up involvement. Days of Our Lives spoilers say Vivian will shock Philip and Vivian with her demand, so stay tuned for their response to the former capture's surprising news. Thanks for watching these videos. Please hit the subscribe button for more updated news.